The following is a presentation of TFNN. Mindful Living with Allie Ford and Tom O'Brien.
Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Allie Ford and Tom O'Brien.
Namaste, everybody, and welcome to Mindful Living, where we want to help you feel good, get healthy, and live life to the fullest every single day. I'm Allie Ford, here with Tom O'Brien, and today we're going to be talking about the practice of yoga, which is obviously helping millions of people around the world get healthy, feel awesome and amazing, and live their life to the fullest every single day. And in fact, specifically, we're going to talk about, is yoga a spiritual practice? And if so, how is it a spiritual practice? Or if not, how is it not? But before I get to that, I want to say hi to my Tom, who is extra tan, looking so tan this summer days of Florida.
Moving at the beach. I know, it's been beautiful.
I got to get out there. I'm inside all day, every day
right now. You got to get down there. Bring the kids down there. Folks, right now, golf has never, I've been there 14 years, I've never seen it this clean.
Really? Awesome.
I mean, it's unbelievable. There's been no storms, so it's so clean, it's unbelievable.
And
I mean, it's like the Caribbean.
Oh, beautiful. That's the thing about Florida. We take it for granted so easily, but it is gorgeous.
It's insane.
Yeah, the best beaches, at least right here in the States. Right now. Yeah, sugar sand. You don't find that many places at all.
You don't.
I remember coming here as a little girl, and that was my most vivid memory, is how beautiful the sand is here. You don't find that, you know? But
I woke up this morning. This is funny. Bridget has a picture of me. I woke up this morning, and I have my bathing suit on and my briefcase, and I'm going to work. So I only have a shirt on. No.
Are you serious? No. Are you really coming to work?
I am serious, because we're down the beach this week. Yeah,
that's so great. I got to get out there. I'm inside so much right now. I mean, it's so healing, just transformative to get out there by the water and hear the sound of the waves and smell the salty air. And right now, though, it's crazy. Do you see the sky outside? It's 91. It's humid, but the storm cloud looks like some serious storm clouds rolling off the coast. And of course,
I've been trapped like rats in here since this morning. I had my bathing suit on this morning.
Yeah, you got an important job to do, man, helping people understand the market.
That's all right.
Well, I tell you, it's that time of year, and I just want to remind our listeners to do yourselves a favor. If you live in the Tampa Bay area, or any tropical area for that matter, get outside, look around your house, and see if you have open containers that'll catch the rainwater and dump out any standing water that's there, because that is a breeding ground for those pesky little mosquitoes that eat my children alive.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
It's kind of a touchy subject for a lot of people.
Right.
Do you feel men and women can be friends? And I'll tell you why I'll ask, but I'm just curious, just off the top of your head, what do you think? Generally be friends.
Now, you're talking about friends after you've had a relationship with them, or friends in general?
Clean. Yeah. Just friends.
Yeah, you can be, for sure.
Okay, good to know.
For sure.
I myself have felt very, have had conviction about that men and women can be friends. And in fact, so many men and women who have dated can remain friends, which I do find interesting. I don't think I'm that person.
I couldn't do that one. There's not, that's a different subject.
All right, so
it's not a different subject.
Get this, here's a story. So a woman I work with has befriended a person through work.
Sure.
And, they go to lunch together, and she's married, he is not.
Right.
She has children, and they've connected, as friends. At least she thought. They would talk about their common interests and passions outside of work, and turns out he invited her to go to this conference regarding meditation. All right, something that they both really are passionate about. Her husband's not really into it. She told her husband, he asked me to go.
Right.
And would you mind if I go? I mean, she's been open and honest about her friendship with this guy, this other man.
Okay.
So her friend said, hey, I'll take care of all the reservations. I'll get her tickets. I'll book the rooms, everything. They get up there, one room booked.
Seriously.
Does that make your heart pound?
Yeah, it's a bummer. Yeah.
My jaw hit the ground. My hand's shaky thinking about it.
Right.
Because, I mean, don't you think that's so disrespectful?
I do. I guess what should have been cleared up prior to is that there should have been a conversation. Well, we're getting 2 rooms. If someone else is booking me a room, I'd want to know that, okay, we're getting 2 rooms.
I guess.
No, there has to be clarity. That there had to be a gray area there.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I mean, partly as far as he was concerned, there was some gray area.
Right.
He was wandering into. I just feel like it was not okay because she is married. She has a child.
Right.
And as far as she was concerned, she had complete trust and faith in this person as a friend, you know, and never even alluded to the fact that that she was remotely interested romantically.
Well, check this out. This is a great conversation. Okay,
I agree.
For a couple of different reasons, and I'll bring you from when I was a kid to now. Okay, so we grew up with a huge amount of kids that we hung out with. And when I say huge, I'm talking about there was probably 30 or 40 guys, and there was probably a good 20 or 30 women, okay? And when you're kids, and I'm talking about, so when I'm talking kids, I'm talking like, say, 15 to 25 or something, okay? You know, and so we went through a lot together, right?
Sure.
A lot of fun, different girlfriends and all this stuff. But I remember always then, okay, you know, like, particularly when you get 17, 18, if I had a good friend and that was a girlfriend and we grew up with the same girls, right? That whole deal about you going with someone else's girlfriend drove me crazy. I couldn't stand it. No, I couldn't. Do you know what I mean? I absolutely couldn't. Because that's how I developed really good friends with those women, and I'm still friends to this day.
Yeah.
Now we'll bring it another step, though. This gets really interesting. Because what I've also found is this, is that during that time, not now, but during that time, right, if you cross the line, I made plenty of decisions. Not plenty. I made a few really good decisions saying no, even when we were both single, saying no, I'd rather be a friend than have a relationship. Because and that's always hard because you're so tight, you know what I mean? But that was really smart.
Yeah, to not cross that line.
Yeah, because you know, it's a different ball game. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And you know, and it's interesting because as years when I see them now, we just it's great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and two, I mean, it sounds like from what you're explaining is sort of a mutual type of thing, and maybe both parties are noticing some connection and you're bonding, and it might be clear. In my opinion, it's usually pretty clear when both parties are interested in exploring that. In this situation, and in many situations I myself have been in, the woman is feeling absolutely no romantic attraction, having no romantic interest in this man, and yet he's reading every gesture of kindness, you know, every conversation, every yes to lunch at work as romantic interest. And I tell you, when they got there and she saw one room was booked, she left.
Right.
And apparently, it's not the first time he'd done it, not to her, but to other women.
Well,
it's the heebie-jeebies.
Okay, so now let's go to the aspect of the conversation that had taken place, right? So, in I think a couple different things could happen there. And that conversation that took place, I mean, if someone's booking a room, the reservations, there probably should have been a question asked, okay?
Yeah, right. Are we having to get in 2 rooms? Do you need my credit card? You know, And that is definitely good pause to sort of, for her also, to reflect back on her actions and say, what did I do that potentially led him in that direction? Right. That he could have assumed that I'd want to share a room with him.
Right. Okay, so now let's get into, though, the meditation, yoga, studio mindset. Okay. Because, so, let's see. The first time that you had your studio was like 9 years ago, right?
Yeah, let's see, 2004.
Okay. So, when I started at that studio, right, you know, it's a whole different ball game. There's no doubt. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is interesting, okay? And if I fast forward to because what happens in a yoga in general, in the studio, everyone, you're one.
Yeah,
I mean, if you really believe it, you're one, you're working out. It's a one deal. So, in that connection, I can absolutely, you can see, well, there's great energy, number one.
Yeah.
Right? And I think when you see that type of love around there, that's all it is. It's a pure love, okay?
Yes.
So I can if I didn't have the relationships I think I had with women when I was 17 or 18, right?
Right.
I could see in a second, like, whoa, you know, no, seriously, do you know what I mean? It's
Sure.
like, so that correlation, because, you know, guys and women, I think we're all the same. You have to think
agree.
about, you see this energy going around.
Yeah, it's not
So-
just obviously men who make those assumptions.
No,
Women do it too.
And so, in that aspect, I think that the longer that you, whether it's in meditation, right, that you realize that, oh, this is really cool because it is a clean relationship and it's a great energy. And it is.
Yeah.
It is, and if you haven't, it empowers guys and women.
It does.
There's no doubt about that. And it's a clean, I like, it's a good deal. Because then I think you can make better choices, period, in life, just because of that.
Yes, because you know who you are and what you're truly feeling. You're honest with
Right.
yourself. I think along those lines, I mean, just to maybe reflect on that situation, you know, both parties could have had that conversation. She could have said,
Yeah.
are we going to
Oh, yeah.
have
No,
a share room? And he's going to say, hey, look, am I reading this correctly here? You know, I'm interested in you in this way. And, you know, is that okay?
And then she's going to be in shock there. Yeah.
And then she would
have been in shock at home.
Exactly. She would have saved herself the trip.
Yeah.
So-
And the husband also should have asked her, you get in a separate room. Right?
Yes, definitely.
And I'm not blaming any of them. I'm not saying
No.
that. But
I just was shocked by the story. I guess, you know, I'm trying to stay open-minded about it, but the first part of me, the initial response was, whoa, disrespectful, and how, you know, she's married, and how could he assume that? And from my understanding, too, he already approached that topic with her, you know.
Yeah.
And said to her, I want to be clear, are we just friends here? And she said, yeah, we're just friends before. And then he tried again. And so, on the other hand, you got to give him credit, man. Sometimes you don't get what you want in life without asking for it, right? So he put it out there. You're either going to get a yes or a no. He needed to know. So anyway, it was a little shocking. So I would just say, women, if you're going to take a trip with a friend of the opposite sex, clear it up before you go and see if they're interested in sharing a room before you go.
I'm telling you, if I had a wife, she wouldn't be taking a trip with another guy, period.
Period. Good to know. That's actually very good information.
I think that would be... Hey, what are you going to do?
It goes without saying.
You are who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know.
it's true.
Yeah.
I think you stick with your values and what you feel in your heart is right.
Yeah, right.
So I want to talk about that energy that you were just alluding to through the yoga practice that we all tap into. And let's just take it high level. So, you know, I'm in the middle of a yoga teacher training, and I've got
Right.
16
I know,
amazing
you're cranking it
women
out,
in this
yeah.
group here in Clearwater. And today, you know, someone had asked, does anyone ever ask you if yoga is a religion? And in fact, a lot of people have that question. So the question is, how? What makes people wonder if yoga is a religion? Does that ever cross your mind? Is yoga a religion?
I think, no, it hasn't. But when I've looked up yoga in general, what you do have is that there's certain religions that feel that yoga is bad and you better not go near it. And that's, to me, that's just the whole power struggle in general. Okay, so that's where that may come from. That you can't go to yoga because, you know, it's this, and this.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And hey, listen, I grew up Irish Catholic. The bottom line is that growing up Irish Catholic, everyone was going to hell except Irish Catholics.
Right.
It's like, oh, this is how this works. God created all of us, and unless you're an Irish Catholic, you're going to go to hell.
Yes.
Oh, and then if you're Irish Catholic and you eat meat, you're going to go to hell too.
Right.
But oh, hold it.
What about all those rules?
We changed that.
Oh, okay. So enough people wanted to eat meat.
We changed that. So I'm not kidding. The day, Allie, I'm not kidding. The day that they changed that, my head was never the same. It was like, hold it. Yesterday, I was going to hell because I ate meat.
It confused you?
Confused me.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. When I go for something, I go all the way.
You truly believed it? Oh, man,
listen,
that stings.
Lock, stock,
That's a horrible way to live.
Lock, stock, and barrel, man. And folks, check this out. Even if you ate meat by mistake, you're going to hell.
Oh, man. Oh, that's traumatizing.
So check. Traumatized. What do you think I am like I am?
I'm so glad you came out the other side, Tom.
Oh, man, I'm telling you.
Oh, God. When we come back, we're going to talk more about, is yoga religion, is it not? Is it spiritual, is it not? And what that means. So stay with us. We'll be back with more Mindful Living.
In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow's not here. What are you doing right now? Mindful Living with Allie Ford and Tom O'Brien.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah.
Welcome back to Mindful Living, everybody. It's Allie and Tom here, and we're talking about whether or not yoga is a spiritual practice. Our number is 877-927-6648. If you have a thought or a comment you'd like to share, please call in. And in fact, during the break, we had one of my students call in. Her name is Claire, and she actually has a thought on whether or not yoga is spiritual. Claire, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Claire?
Hi, Allie.
Hi, thanks for calling, darling. How you
You're
doing?
welcome. Good, really good.
So you're out celebrating your birthday?
Yeah, we had a lovely dinner at Christina's. It's raining now a little bit, but, you know, nothing us yogis can't handle.
Hey, good attitude. And happy birthday.
Happy birthday. What did you have at Christino's?
It's so good.
Pardon?
What did you eat at Christino's?
Oh, I had the portobello mushroom salad with salmon.
Oh, I love Christino's.
Delish. I love Christina's too. Christina's, if you're listening, we love you.
Yeah,
Claire,
totally.
what do you think about yoga and spirituality?
Well, someone the other day asked me the same question, and when I replied to them, for me, yoga is something that helps me find my way in my own religion and strengthen my own beliefs and fosters my own development as a person so that I can alleviate suffering in my life and reach a point of peace and happiness and recognize that we're all unified, that people at our basic level, we're all the same. We're essentially the same. We all have beliefs. We all have basic necessities, and if we recognize that, I think that yoga is a way for us to find a more peaceful, happier life and to strengthen our own beliefs and religion. It's not something that's dictating to us what we need to believe in. Rather, it's helping us find our own beliefs.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Claire, thank you for calling in. Have an awesome night and happy birthday.
You're so welcome, and thank you so much.
See you
Thanks,
soon.
Claire.
Thank you, Claire. Namaste.
Bye.
Yeah, you're going to see her tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I'm going to see her. Or don't be late, Claire. So,
No, I'll be right on time for my practice.
Hey, Claire, has Allie got the whip out yet?
Oh, no, never.
Oh, yes, she does. You're only into this whole... You're into it for a week so far, right? Or is it 2 weeks?
we're in week and a half now.
Week and a half. Allie gets the whip out in the third week. I've seen this teacher train her before.
Something to look forward to.
Don't be scared.
I'm only
Oh,
kidding.
I love it. She's the best.
She is, yeah.
Thank you, Claire. We'll talk to you soon. So we had another comment from another student, Rhonda, who says, she responded to my post earlier. She said, my daily practice, she practices Ashtanga Yoga, which you and I practice, has given me the time and space to reconnect with the Christian faith with which I was raised. The practice has quieted my mind in order for me to be able to pray again on a daily basis. My prayers are of gratitude for the life with which I've been blessed and prayers for those I know who need some peace in their life. I feel that many of the yogic principles could also be considered Christian principles, and the practice has taken me into leading a more ethical spiritual life. So for
That's
her...
beautiful. That's really well said.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So for her, again, while yoga is not religion, it's become a spiritual practice for her. And in fact, it is facilitating her own beliefs in her faith.
You know, go back to eating meat and I'm going to hell. Right? No, it's a serious story because the reality was that when they changed that you could eat meat and you weren't going to hell, of course, my head was like, you got to be kidding me. So what is this all about?
That's confusing.
But at that particular point, I realized that, okay, hold it. There's a huge difference between control vehicles and spiritual religion. That's when my thought process really started happening and saying, okay. So then I really started looking around at all these different deals. And I like praying, always like praying, okay? So when we bring that forward to yoga, I think what ends up happening is that the breathing itself is just like looking up at the stars. When you look up at the stars, you realize, oh my God, we don't look up enough. This universe is huge. It's beautiful, right? You start breathing when you feel yourself, right? And so when you feel yourself, I think it's great because then you know how you want to feel and you don't want other people not to feel good.
Right.
So then you're always looking around making sure that, geez, we're all the same, you know, just as, you know, Claire said, as Rhonda said, so you want everyone to be all right.
Yeah.
And so when I look at the context, what I said to you earlier, what happens in yoga classes, folks, is that some you know, when you finish the class, some instructors, you know, when you finish, and you put your head up to the front of the class at the end, right? And I
Shavasana.
Said, for Shavasana. And I said, I really like that. And I like, and some teachers don't do it, but I happen to like that.
Yeah.
And I like it because to me it's the same context that you are praying, you know, and it's not the context that you're praying to something. You're having respect. You're having respect. That's what it really comes down to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all these different religions, you know, they're all good. I mean, that's the reality. Do you know what I mean? It's like, hold it. All the different beliefs, you know, there's different structures that are all over the place, and we are all one. You know?
So at the end of the day, yoga is open to interpretation, okay? Even one of the guru of all gurus, whose name was Krishnamacharya, said that yoga, in order for yoga to survive, which he believed was India's greatest gift to the world because it facilitates this state of inner peace, healing, and harmony. It is a holistic healing practice.
Right.
When you're healthier, you feel better, and when you feel better, you treat people you know better, you treat strangers better, you treat the environment better, and things start to work in harmony. So yoga means union, finding that connection, you know, between yourself and others, if you are open to that understanding. And then that can facilitate sort of the spirituality of yoga. And as far as yoga is concerned, it means just connecting with something greater than yourself.
Right.
Whether that means feeling that connection, like you're saying, amongst other people, or feeling a stronger connection to your higher power. If you're open to that, that is there for you. And that happens, again, when you practice the meditation of yoga, you focus on the breath, the racing thoughts of the mind tend to calm down, and you gain this clarity of who you are, what it is you believe in general, and you can act on that. Now, let's face it, some people aren't open to that. Some people are there just for the workout. They want a tighter butt or more flexible hamstrings. That's okay, too.
Right.
So it is open to interpretation. And Krishnamacharya said in order for yoga to survive, it would have to evolve with the changing needs of its practitioners. So at the end of the day, it's meant to foster this sort of open-mindedness and non-judgment. I mean, who am I to judge
because what
you believe?
And an open-mindedness puts power to the people. Because, listen, that's how societies go forward.
And then thrive.
Yeah,
I agree.
right.
So we have my dear Rhonda on the line. Oh, Rhonda, we just lost her. No problem. I had her holding for a long time. Sorry, Rhonda. We love you. Rhonda called in. She's the one who posted earlier, and she's listening to the show. She is a great writer. And, you know, she's an MD. This is a brilliant woman. And what I love that she wrote, the fact that she's Christian. So, you know, I have a lot of students who are strong Christians. In fact, I am a Christian.
Right.
I was raised, well, it's funny. You know, my mom always said we were Episcopalian growing up.
Yeah.
Yet, as a family, we never set foot in an Episcopalian church. So I thought, well, what does that mean?
Right.
So I'm from, you know, the South. I'm from small town Texas.
Right.
I went to every church possible with all my friends. I wanted to explore, you know, what is this idea of God? And I think that in itself also fostered a sort of open-mindedness. Yeah, I went to
it does.
a lot of churches. I didn't necessarily personally connect with the dogma of the church, the rules. Like, for example,
That's different.
I remember as a little girl going to this church, and they told me I couldn't dance. That it was a sin to move my body in probably certain ways. When I heard I couldn't dance, that was it, because I love to dance.
Sure,
I love to dance and sing, so that wasn't working for me. But I will say, it doesn't mean I was going to say, well, that's a bad church and what they believe is crazy. It didn't work for me, and I was still friends with all my friends who went to that church. You know, it's the closed-mindedness, this assumption that, you know, we as members of society have some right to judge other people. Yoga tries to help us say, look, you know, as long as we're all living in accordance with, you know, general rules like being kind and loving to each other and not causing harm.
Yes.
At the end of the day, how you decide you're going to define that greater thing you're connected with, it's up to you. So,
it is.
You know, it could be, so, you know, and again, it could also just be exercise. That's okay, too. But if something starts to happen in you where, as we say, the mind gets quiet and, you know, something inside you says, wow, I'm starting to know who I am and what I want and what I believe at a deeper level, that you then sort of feel connected to something greater than yourself. It could be your mother. It could be the Mother Earth. It could be the Holy Mother herself. That's up to you to decide.
Well, you know what's interesting? So, in business, well, you know, in life, but this is a business story I'm going to tell. You know, you're always dealing with a lot of different people. And so what ends up happening with larger companies, you know, we have conversations like this, and this happens to be advertisers I've had over the course of years, right?
Uh-huh.
And what ends up happening is that when you're selling advertising, it's very hard to sell, right? And when I'm selling advertising, I can call people, folks, on a continual basis every single week for 6 months, a year. Normally 6 months, I'll get them, right? Bottom line, one of my advertisers, right? Great guy. Really tight with him. This is, you know, he's not advertising now, but this is years ago, and we had a great relationship. And, you know, I'm with him one day, right? And this particular guy, folks, so check this out. What happens with advertisers, you know, depending what their budget is, they'll stay on for a while and they'll come off. And some people would basically say, Tom, I got to come off. I got to stay on. But this guy always would give me like 4 or 5 months ahead of notice whether he's going to be on for the next year or off and all this. And I always says, you know, Mike, well, so I said to him, anyway, I says, it's amazing that you are the cleanest person I've dealt with. And I'm talking about going back 30 years, right? Mm-hmm. As to, he'd always be aware of what my budget is, what I need, and what he needs, because he's ran a huge public company, right?
Right.
And so when I saw him in person, you know, we're talking one day, and he tells me, we're talking, and he says, oh, I'm an atheist. I look at him. I says, you're an atheist? I says, you're the cleanest guy I know. I got to tell you the rest of the story. Seriously.
I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to hear it.
It's amazing.
Well, the good news is yoga works for atheists, too.
No,
we'll talk more about that when we come back.
Totally.
Stay with us, folks. Be right back.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Who says you can't take it with you? TFNN says you can. With your mobile device and TFNN's live radio streams, TFNN has put it all in the palm of your hands. No special apps to download. No subscription fees for live radio or Tiger TV streams. We say you can.
Now let's go over to the dollar, because the dollar is going to be the generator. It is the generator of basically higher dollar, lower market. And what the dollar has done, and this whole uptrend, folks, has just gone sideways. The way it works, folks, is this.
We say you can. The Tiger Financial News Network. Smart investors and professional traders know you can. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Life is a mystery to be lived, not a problem to be solved. Mindful Living with Allie Ford and Tom O'Brien.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah.
Welcome back, folks. I got to hear the rest of this story. So he said he's an atheist, and you said...
So we're standing there. I says, that's amazing. I says, because I've dealt with so many people over the years. And folks, when he would come back on and say, okay, Tom, I'll give you a year of advertising. And then when he was not going to, he says, you know, he'd give me like 3 or 4 months before that saying, I'm going to be off for 6 months. And he'd come right back, right? And so I says, I've dealt with so many people. I says, talk to me how this thing works, right? Because I don't understand that at all. Do you know what I mean? Because I believe, you know what I mean? That we're all one. And then he turns on and says to me, he said, well, I believe that we're all spiritual and we're all one. He said, but I'm not believing in all these organizations. And I'm saying to myself, man, okay. I said, so I'm saying to myself, so is that is that what that means? And he says, well, not quite.
It's his interpretation of atheism. It is his interpretation. He says he's spiritual and he believes in a connection greater than himself.
Right. And he was caring. He was caring for me. He's a large corporation, and I watched, he was caring on a huge basis. He wouldn't say something that he wouldn't fulfill.
Right.
And as I just said to you earlier, it drives me crazy. Even, I can say, hey, I'm going to do that for you, and you have the best intention, and all of a sudden you don't do it. It's like, why did I even say that?
Yeah, that is impressive that he's a man of his word, and he speaks very purely. Like you said, whatever he says he's going to do, he does.
He does.
That actually is...
No matter how busy he is or not busy.
Right.
No excuses.
And he's the head of a huge company, or he runs a huge public company. I mean, that's impressive.
It is.
There's actually, we're practicing meditation and yoga to refine our minds so that we think clearly and we actually do what we say we're going to do. And so that, to me, says he's got a very focused mind.
Yeah, he does.
He speaks the truth.
He does.
And he follows up on what he says he's going to do, and that becomes the truth.
He does.
That's not easy.
No,
it takes practice.
It's not.
It's called satya in yoga.
Satya.
Yeah, the truth. Speak the truth.
Right.
And also one who speaks the truth that says what they say becomes true. So
that's
directly
really good.
from the Yoga Sutras.
That's
interesting.
Really good.
Which is the how to practice yoga.
And that's an energy basis.
Is that definitely? Again, yoga's not. There's no dogma. Don't do this and you'll go to hell, or don't do that and you'll go to hell.
Right.
But when you read the ancient texts on yoga, there are some ways in which one who has practiced in yoga begins to live that's in accordance with the universal energy. And by that we mean you feel it, when you go against that energy. Like when you harm someone or when you hurt someone, you have a consciousness or a conscience about that. And you say, it didn't feel right. I'm not going to act that way. You know, so it's an energetic connection.
We start talking karma. I'm not kidding. If I do anything, 12 to 15 seconds, it'll hit me.
You feel it.
Oh, like ASAP.
Yeah, it's connected.
It's
not a lot of people don't have that.
It's there.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, forget it.
Well, so how does yoga work? And, you know, we're talking about if yoga becomes a spiritual practice for you, how does it? And, you know, yoga is ultimately a tool to work with our minds so that they're more effective tools, just like your friend you were talking about, your business associate.
Right.
And these are all scientifically proven benefits of meditation, which you can read on our website. You can watch some of our past shows. That meditation is basically a practical, tangible practice to focus your mind. And when you focus your mind, you relieve stress. When the mind is racing, you're stressed out, right? So to relieve stress, to think more clearly, to make better decisions in life, to sleep better, to fight disease in your body, boost your immune system, et cetera, et cetera,
and feel yourself. It's great feeling the inside of your body, just in general.
Yeah.
Just the breathing in general, to feel the inside of your body, I think it changes my whole energy in 2 seconds.
It reveals a lot about
2 or 3
your
breaths.
health.
You know, as soon as you can feel it coming down here, it's like, okay, we get action, man, you know.
Yes. And so yoga is essentially a practice of meditation. Now, I have heard, I think there are a lot of misconceptions out there. When I owned the yoga studio, I had a young lady come in and say her church, I can't tell you what church it was, but someone at her church would not allow her to attend that church if she kept practicing yoga. And so she had to quit.
Right.
Because of the meditation practice.
Because of the meditation.
And this came up again with someone else, and they said that their belief was if you quiet your mind enough, if you create enough space, the devil can get in.
Okay. Well, the aspect of evil, you know, evil is never going to get in a strong body or mind.
Yeah.
Because what will end up happening, and I believe there is evil. Okay?
I agree.
But what happens, I think what happens with evil, you see it, you know it, and you stay away from it. And you can actually, you know, if you can feel your body, folks, what you're doing, I bring white lights from my body and just, you go somewhere else, man.
Yeah, and you become resilient. Like you said, strong. I love the word that you used.
Right.
And let's face it, just like we read the quote, you know, one of my students posted online was that it should strengthen your beliefs for whatever it is. You should have more conviction for your beliefs.
Totally.
So
whatever those beliefs are. That's what's so cool about whatever those beliefs are.
Exactly. So if you are meditating and quieting the thoughts of the mind so that you know yourself better and know what you believe better, or know your own, whatever the God is that you believe in better, how's the devil going to get in?
No, he's not.
I don't.
She's not.
I don't understand that.
We don't know.
And, you know, I felt it was just such a... it was an unfortunate situation because this is a young lady who had been in an abusive marriage and had no self-esteem and no self-confidence.
Right.
And the yoga practice, first just starting with a physical exercise, made her feel strong.
Right.
It made her feel healthy. It made her respect herself again.
You know, the reality inside organized religions, period, is all about control.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's every religion. Unfortunately, I mean, the reality inside all organized religions is about control, about what? Look at the aspect of, I don't care what religion it is, you're not supposed to kill until, you know, go kill the other religion now. It's like, oh, really?
Right. When is that okay?
I said to my nuns, okay, so picture this. Vietnam's going on. We're all going to the Marines. And I remember saying to them, okay, now how does this work? We're not supposed to kill, but we're all going to the Marines, right? Oh, yeah, that's different. I said to myself, this is like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is crazy.
And that was reality then. That's insane.
It is insane. And I just, you know, I just felt so bad that this gift that was helping this woman feel strong and healthy and well was taken away from her by someone that, you know, was just, as you say, controlling her life. So nonetheless, you come into yoga class, you know, remember that no one's going to force any belief on you. There's no mention of some strange God or some God that you don't believe in. You know, yoga teaches, as you said...
Didn't you just tell them that you're the God in your classes, right?
That's right. Shoot, beware. If your yoga teacher tells you you to call them guru, or if your yoga teacher acts in some way that they are not a normal human being, run, because that's something bad's going to happen there. Yeah, you know, like you said, when you start paying, yoga asks that you focus your mind first on yourself, first on your body, the really physical, tangible parts of yourself. When you come into this warrior pose, how does that feel on your knee? How does your knee feel healthy? Ah, there's pain there. Well, maybe you need to pay attention to that. What are you doing in your daily life that's causing that pain?
Right.
You know?
Right.
How's your stomach feel when you fold forward? Ooh, that kind of hurts my liver. Oh, maybe you need to see a doctor, you know, or change your diet.
Well,
so you start to become self-aware, first with really tangible things, you know, physical things. And, you know, the yoga practice asks a lot of us, the physical, that
Sure.
requires strength and flexibility, a lot of breath, that maybe you start changing some habits, you know. Maybe you do eat cleaner because it doesn't feel so good when you fold forward and you massage all your guts, all your
Sure.
digestive
No,
organs.
You know, I remember, and still to this day, I think about it a lot. It's like, how does it make you feel so good?
Yeah.
You know, that's what it really comes down to. I mean, you know, it's like, hold it. Whatever it is, and I learned a long time ago, you know what? You get something good, you can try to keep killing yourself figuring it out, but guess what? You don't have to.
Just roll with it.
Yeah.
Go with the flow, not against it.
Go with your heart.
Exactly.
You know, that's the bottom line.
It's funny. I wrote a paper, just an article about this. It was actually published in Mind, Body, Green online, and it is, what's the goal of yoga? And in that article, I wrote that, you know, regardless of who you are, if you're a mom or a dad, if you're a college student or a doctor or an attorney
Sure.
or a mechanic or whatever, that you may not be able to define what it is about yoga after that class
Right.
that makes you feel good. But whoever you are, inevitably at the end you just go, oh,
I still can't define what it is.
man, I feel so great. I'll tell you what I believe it is, just through my years of practice and experience. What I believe it is the quieting of the mind. It's that
Yeah.
aspect of meditation. And how you achieve that on your yoga mat, the physical practice,
Right.
is by focusing your mind so intently
Just on the practice, yeah.
on the practice.
Right.
I mean, because
Which does it, yeah,
yoga
no
can
doubt.
be really hard.
No
yeah?
doubt, right,
So you're
right.
either really focusing on the physical movement,
Right.
or on the breath.
I'm trying to keep the balance.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing.
And keep your
Right.
balance, keep your
Right.
breath smooth,
Right.
even and deep, which is challenging, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, gosh, the breathing practice in and of itself. You know how many people are stressed out, running crazy all day, every day, breathing shallowly, quickly. You know, how do you breathe when you're angry or stressed?
Yeah.
But slow down the breath, deepen the breath, and your nervous system just gets a massage.
You know what I love? What I can do now. Now, I don't have a problem sleeping at all. I like sleeping, okay? And I go to sleep pretty quick. But what I can do now is that if I wake up and I even start thinking about business or anything,
Yeah.
I can take 3 breaths and I'm asleep.
That's great. You know, that question just came up,
it's
actually.
so cool.
In one of my other programs, a really busy woman said, you know, we were talking about how meditation, studies show that 75% of insomniacs fell asleep in just 20 minutes after learning meditation and yoga relaxation techniques.
Right.
But her question was, but how do you stay asleep? You know, after you fall asleep, if you have a really busy mind, you can wake up at 2 and have to go to the computer and write your ideas down.
Well, no, don't. What I do, you don't get up.
Yeah.
And I'll go down. I feel the first one. I feel the second one. By the third one, and I'm off to sleep again.
That's
and it's a couple hours later.
That's beautiful,
Yeah.
and that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to be so reactive to your thoughts.
Right.
If you're reactive to the thoughts, I mean, think how many thoughts enter our minds. I forget the statistic. I want to say it's ridiculous number every second.
Connections, yeah, right.
And if you are responding to every single one of those thoughts, you're going to be running around like a crazy person.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
So that's a really beautiful tool, and I know a lot of people out there listening can benefit from that, you know. I had
well, you know, I can tell you, the right on your site, okay, when you go up to that, where is that meditation?
under teacher training.
Yep.
It's go down to resources.
Okay.
And here I have some recorded meditation. So under
Yeah,
chants
you want
and
to listen to
podcasts.
that. You know, I haven't listened to that for a long time, but that 10-minute mindful meditation
Yes.
is a dynamite meditation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know,
You get, if you just start, and I think that's an amazing tool to start with.
I've had a lot of students and just friends tell me that they do that meditation.
No, I really like that.
And in fact, one woman sent me a message on Facebook and said she was doing it every night with her children,
right. No,
her two boys.
It totally makes sense.
Yeah, it's great.
It is. And you'll really get to understand. I think what happens is that 10 minutes is long enough with the music that you get there.
Yeah.
So that you can really get it, which is cool.
It's helpful at the beginning to have a guided meditation to calm and quiet the mind. Otherwise,
definitely.
In the beginning, your thoughts take over and you just can't sit there.
Right.
Your mind's so busy, you just have to get up and go walk away.
Right.
But with this, it's a guided meditation. So every time your mind wants to run away or you want to run away, you can tune back into that and say, okay,
right.
I can stay. It's only 10 minutes.
And you probably, when I used to do that, I used to fall asleep sometimes. Listen,
Just relaxing.
It didn't matter.
It's
right.
okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's some people, maybe you needed to sleep. You needed a nap. It's fine.
I like naps. I don't have enough of them. I do.
That's good. That you should do. People should do more of that too. Nurture yourself. If you need a massage, go get one. If you need a nap, go take one. Go for a walk by the ocean. So, I can't emphasize enough that this is an open to interpretation situation. All right, is yoga just physical exercise? Well, it depends on how you look at it. Is yoga a religion? No, that is not debatable.
Right.
Is yoga spiritual? Again, open to interpretation. I got another post.
Well, what's interesting about that though is that I think life is spiritual. If you don't think life is spiritual, folks, please try to go on that path because.
We're all connected.
That's a good path, right?
I wanted to comment on something you said that when the guy who said he was an atheist.
Yes.
But he still has, so that means he doesn't necessarily believe in a specific God.
No.
But he was spiritual and that he believed in this connection amongst all of us.
Right.
Which made him a good person. Because
huge.
If you know that you are connected to other people spiritually, it informs the way you live, the way you behave. The Dalai Lama says that knowing that he is energetically connected to others makes him want to serve others because he knows the energy is coming back to him.
Oh, totally.
Which is that's so cool. It informs your way of life to become less selfish and more selfless. Which, wouldn't the world be a beautiful place if we were all that way?
And,
no doubt.
And and think about how many times that when you really get that high, and when you really get that high is really coming from, I think, you've done something, you're helping someone, and then something else comes back to you. And it's not money, it's not bread, it's that feeling. That feeling you can't buy.
Right.
It's not for sale either.
Definitely not. And it's sometimes hard to explain how good it feels. But if you look at the exact opposite of how lonely, when you feel lonely or you feel alone, it feels like the world is crashing down on you. Right. When you feel
this is a great topic.
When you are isolated, especially when we start to feel depressed or we start to wallow in our own, just worries. We put up these walls around ourselves, and when you feel isolated in that way, it hurts. You suffer. Instead, though, if you can somehow find a connection to maybe a family member or to friends or just your community, that suffering, it heals that suffering.
Well, this is a good topic because sometimes when I think about, and we've all, you go through different phases in life, right? And when I look at sometimes, I'm on the air 2 hours a day and I'm talking, but I can go for hours without talking.
Yes.
And I can go for hours days by being by myself. So it gets really interesting, okay? But exactly what you said, there's not a loneliness because of the fact that when you feel that you are connected, that's a different ballgame. Even when you are lonely, it's still, you can still have both, and I've had both, okay?
Yeah.
So you can still have that, but because you are connected, you're not going off the deep end.
Exactly. There's still a deep essence of bliss down inside of you, even when you go through the hard times of life.
Yeah. Sometimes I say to myself, I'm crazy, man. Because, seriously, I'm not kidding. Because my perception is that, and I'm saying to myself, well, that's my perception. That's all that really matters, because that's all I know.
That's right. And it's helping you overcome suffering, so it's working.
Right.
Well, and, if you look at the contrary again, if you're alone and you don't believe that we're all connected, that causes a lot of apathy, where you're not You don't care how you're treating other people. You don't care how you're treating the world. I might as well dump these chemicals in your drinking water because it's not going to affect you. We're not connected. So, I think the connection helps facilitate a healing world. I want to read another quote to you that someone posted when I said the show was on this topic tonight.
Yes.
This practitioner, Miranda, she's only been practicing a year. She said, yoga has become such a spiritual practice for me. I've lifted weights for 15 years because it made me feel confident and strong in life, but never have I felt the inner strength, inner peace, and overall gratitude that I feel when practicing yoga. It brings me away from all the hustle and bustle of everyday life, and when I'm done with each practice, it feels as if my eyes have opened for the first time without all the pain and hardships from the past. Inner peace and acceptance and a strong but not hard heart and mind is what I've gained from my just 1 year of practice.
I think that's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I think your students all went to Harvard English class or something.
They're awesome. I'm so grateful. Thank you for
amazing.
posting, Miranda.
That is
we
so
appreciate
cool.
that. I agree.
That really is.
So again, let's just be clear that this is the great promise of yoga. If you're open to diving inside yourself and spending a little quiet time on your yoga mat.
Right.
And connecting with who you are at a deeper level. And when that happens, you find, what it is you believe in. You foster those beliefs. You strengthen those beliefs. You're able to connect from a more authentic place inside yourself with others because you know yourself at a deeper level. You make better choices in life. You know what you need to feel healthy, whether it's more sleep, maybe a different job, maybe it's changing your diet. And when you know yourself at that deeper level, everything in your life just feels better and runs more smoothly. Even if, and you will, you face difficulties and challenges.
There's no doubt. And yeah,
you become more resilient. And I mean,
no, you do.
Isn't that a beautiful way to live?
Yeah, it is. Because if you're going to live, you might as well really live. It's just like whatever you do, you really better do it. Because if you don't, why are you here? Why do it? Because we're going to be gone. So
Why
it's like,
just practice yoga for the tight butt? And you'll get that too. Which is also a beautiful thing. Not gonna take that from you. But why approach it with a closed mind? Know that if you're gonna step onto a yoga mat or go into a yoga room, you don't have to feel threatened. Know that you can maintain your beliefs and get as much out of it as you want. So with that, a beautiful thing. Thanks for joining us for this edition of Mindful Living. We'll be back next week. Until then, we wish you peace, health, harmony, and happiness from the inside out. Namaste.
Namaste, folks. Have a great one. Have a safe one.